Hey everyone, welcome back to the DJ Sessions, where we feature the best DJs, producers, and electronic music professionals from around the world. I'm your host, Aaron, and right now I'm sitting in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and coming in. Again, it's always halfway around the world. Somewhere around the world, we have these amazing guests coming on the show. We have, and I hope I get this right, Yves V coming in from Belgium. Is that correct? Are you at home in Belgium?
Hello. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. My name's Yves V, all the way in Belgium, Antwerp.
Yves V. Well, you know, it was interesting because I was listening to the V Sessions radio, and congratulations. I mean, 359 episodes. That is a feat in itself. And I was listening to your intro over and over and over again because Wikipedia says your name is Eefee, and I would say Yves.
Yeah.
And in the show, it sounded like it said Yves V, and I'm like, which one is it? So,
yeah, I think actually both are quite okay, to be honest. But I know it's a difficult name. I think in every country people pronounce it in a different way, so it's all good.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the DJ Sessions
Thanks
today.
for having me.
We're super excited to have you on the show. I know you're totally busy with a ton of stuff going on, and you're at home relaxing. It looks like you're in your studio right now.
Yeah, this is my home studio. I actually moved 2 years ago here at my place, and I'm still building it. So actually, most of the work now I'm doing with my studio partner, but I hope to finish my studio very soon here. But I have my record collection here in the back, so yeah, I'm quite okay here.
And was this where you actually got a chance to work on She's Moving with 22 Bullets?
For a part, but mostly was like with my studio partner, and of course with 22 Bullets as well. So yeah, but I hope in the future we can do everything here as well. So hope soon.
What has the response been like to She's Moving? That's your latest release you pushed out there. What's the response been like? I saw a short little video of it. Looked like people are going crazy for it.
Yeah, for sure, and I'm really happy because it's a club track, of course, and like the break is perfect for live shows, and I'm super happy that we're finally back on tour, finally doing live shows again. So yeah, I think this one we could only release during this period and not during the COVID period. So you have to play it live, you have to feel it, and the crowd reaction is really nice. Got a lot of nice feedback, and it's definitely one of the highlights in my set for the moment. So.
Yeah, and speaking of shows in the summer and shows coming up, the summer looks quite busy for you. 32 dates over the next 2 or so months with more to be announced. What's that feeling like to be back on stage and being in front of those massive crowds?
Oh, it's I'm super happy. It's difficult to describe, to be honest, but finally back on stage, finally I can feel the energy of the crowd again. This is what I love to do, so yeah, I hope it doesn't change anymore, and we can keep on going like this. And yeah, like you said, I have a lot of dates. I think we already added like 3 or 4 extra dates. So busy summer, but yeah, I was waiting for 2 years, so I'm ready.
Well, it looks like the rain won't even be stopping you.
No, that was last weekend indeed. The name of the festival was Sunrise Festival, but it was like raining the whole period of my set. So, but people kept dancing in the rain. So, yeah, what more can you wish for?
And speaking of what festivals coming up, Tomorrowland. It looks like that is one of the biggest things you do every year. Is that kind of like the big 4-day festival? You're a resident for that, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I'm playing at Tomorrowland. I think I started playing there from the 2nd edition. So that's already like, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago. So yeah, I'm really proud to be one of the residents. Normally I'm hosting my own stage as well, but this year I'm actually focusing on myself. So I'm doing 2 main stage slots. I'm playing at the Gathering. Yeah, I'm doing a few other shows as well over there. So, but yeah, it's the highlight of my year. It's nearby my home. My friends will be there. Tomorrowland is my management as well. So it's yeah. That's my home.
I wish I had a festival that big that went on out here that I could say, this is my home. We work with Beyond Wonderland, which is a pretty big one. That's out here stateside. I see you also do tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? It's in Atlanta. What was the name of the one that's in Atlanta you do?
That was Tomorrow World.
Tomorrow World. That's right. That's what we have over here is Tomorrow World.
Yeah.
And we plan to be doing some traveling this year. We are with the DJ sessions. We're coming over to Amsterdam to go to ADE this year. Are you going to be at ADE?
Nice.
Are you going to be at ADE this year?
I think so. Yeah, I actually saw a few dates in my schedule, but it's not confirmed yet because probably we're also checking if I'm not on tour somewhere else. But I would love to go because also ADE for me, it's been a few years now. So yeah, that would be nice. If I'm there, let's meet up.
Yeah, and it's our first time going international with our brand. We're usually focused on North America and what we do, but we're definitely expanding and getting a little bit more international traction and getting out on the streets. We can't wait to get back out and physically interview people with a microphone in our hand, talking to them, being at the events again. And one of the things I was talking with one of the people that are going with me is I've never dealt with jet lag before. And I'm wondering, what's the most difficult thing to deal with when you go on tour?
100% the traveling part. Like the DJing part is that's what we love. That's our passion. So no problem with that. But sometimes, the traveling part, you can't choose your flights. If you have a heavy tour, like flights every day, no sleep or sleep whenever you can, maybe 2-3 hours. But after a while, it really gets you. And I love traveling. I love to travel, but to be honest, like when you have a hectic tour, sometimes it's a bit too much. And especially like my time before the pandemic was like I was almost getting sick of the traveling part. So for me, it was actually good that it was like a pause in my schedule. But it's part of the job, so we can't complain, and we just have to go on.
And have you ever visited a faraway country, where you were surprised that people actually knew your music?
Yeah, for sure. It's every time. Like I played in India last weekend, and in Pune, so that was like a 4-hour drive from Mumbai. It's still unreal. Like wherever you go in the world, even from Brazil to Pune in India if people know your music, it's like unbelievable. Because what more can you wish? When you arrive somewhere and people ask you, hey, can you play your new track, She Moving? Or sometimes I'm actually having a show and I just premiered the track like a few hours ago on my socials, and they already know. So that makes it really special and creates like a bond with the crowd as well. So
absolutely. And when you go to visit these foreign countries, do you get time to actually go and explore the culture of the countries? Do you get is it in your rider that I get a day before, if you get this a day before, or maybe I get a day after to go out and explore, or is it I'm on a plane, I'm back in the car for 4 hours getting back to Mumbai? And
it depends on the schedule, to be honest, and the other shows. But if I have time, I always try to visit something or to explore the country for sure. But sometimes I have another show the next day, and we have to take our flight, otherwise we can't make it. So if I have time, 100%, I always try to visit and also go to the local restaurants, and for sure that's really what I love to do. But it depends on the schedule, of course.
Have you ever had to have a helicopter come in and fly you in and fly you out of the events?
Yes, also. Well, I think I've been in countries like probably 2-3 hours. Like did a show and went back directly to the airport. So also that is something sometimes we do, but I prefer to have a little bit more time, to be honest. Like arriving, relax a bit, explore, have a nice dinner, go out to the show day after. That's actually the ideal scenario.
And I mean, your management team that handles your booking, you said Tomorrowland handles your bookings?
No, my management.
Oh, your management. Who's your manager?
Tomorrowland.
Oh, Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland's the manager, and
Actually, manager. Yeah.
Urban Rebels, the PR. We'll be talking about them in a second.
Yeah.
But I mean, they must have this down to a science to know how to get you around the world, or is it still kind of a hectic process?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it depends. Sometimes, but I think mostly it's like a hectic process, to be honest. And the ones who doing my bookings is like an agency. Those are the ones like arranging all my schedule and my bookings. And yeah, it depends. Sometimes I can go from Mexico to China and from China back to the United States, for example. So yeah, but if I could choose, I would yeah, I would do it in a more logical way, to be honest.
You wouldn't just want your own Learjet and takes off and leaves when you want it to be. And
that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Maybe awesome. In the future.
If you could host an event of your own without any limitations, name 5 things you would want to have at that event.
At that event, I would do an event at the beach somewhere. Nice weather is a must. Yeah, what would for me very important as a DJs, I really love to stand like in front of the crowd, but like close to the crowd, because I love to interact. Like I want to tell a story and I need to feel the energy, so I need to be like in one place, united all together. Yeah, what else? What can I say? Good food, good drinks, nice weather, beach, good music. Is there something else?
I don't think there is anything else better than that. And you mentioned earlier you like to connect with the crowd. So, yeah. I mean, big festivals are great, but you know, you do get that far removed sense. Do you prefer intimate clubs as well, like smaller audiences? Do you get a chance to ever play smaller venues? Because your roster looks like a lot of big festivals, and we're talking thousands and thousands of people, as opposed to maybe playing into even just 1,000 people in a room. Which do you prefer the most? I mean, you play a lot of festivals, but do you have a preference?
I'm still doing both, actually. I'm still doing the club shows as well, smaller shows, big shows. It's really hard to say or to choose which one is the best. Festivals are amazing. You're reaching a big crowd. You feel the energy. Amazing productions, fireworks. So it's unbelievable. But in a club, even for a few hundreds of people, also really nice. Mostly you have a little bit more time. You can try a bit more like new music or go a bit deeper, or you can take people more on a journey. And like I said, like the interaction, if people stand really close to me, it's something what I really like. It's not that I have a favorite one. I like both. I think it's different, but it's both amazing.
Have you ever had something really bad happen to you on stage at an event? And if so, what was that, and how did you recuperate from that?
Oh, really bad.
Other than raining on you.
Yeah. Well, I had a few things, but besides the rain on me, because that I really had. No, I think when I was playing, I think the 3rd or 4th edition at Tomorrowland, I started playing, but back then I think it was still like CDs, but it went like in emergency loop.
Oh no!
But I think it was my 2nd track or something. That was really like a nightmare. But the MC came in between, and he did an amazing job. He was like taking the people on like hey ho, and we go from left to right. And during that process, I could put a new CD and on. And but to be honest, I felt really bad, and it took me a while to get back into the right mood or something. Mm-hmm. I almost could cry. It was like, oh, this is a nightmare. But at the end, when I spoke to people, nobody noticed.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. So at the end, it was quite okay.
It was one of the things when I started doing a live DJ show is that a lot of DJs, they had never performed one live in front of, to a live streaming audience where they couldn't see the audience. 2, they weren't used to being on camera. And I just would try to be the producer I was and say, if anything happens, it's actually a good thing because they know that we're actually live in the studio and it's not pre-recorded. Yeah. It's not fake. Try not to have any incidents or bad things happen. but things happen. And just like you said, I would pick up the microphone and be like, hey, so guess what? That's what happens when you hit the sync button, or you hit the cue button, or this happens, or, in the middle of set. And it added more flavor to the show.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that you were able to come out of that. Now, you've been doing stadiums, festivals, events for a while now. And one question that I've kind of come across over the years, because you have people like Carl Cox, who's in this game, been in it for a long time. And do you see there being a retirement age for you, or an age that you might say, I gotta focus my efforts over here, I'm gonna stop doing the big shows? Or is there actually a retirement age in electronic music?
Yeah, I don't think so, to be honest. But it all depends. First of all, I think you still need to feel like the tension, like the excitement. I think if that is gone, then probably you have to ask yourself, am I still loving this? Do I still want to do this? And of course, people also, if the crowd still wants you, I think that's also one of the big factors. But I don't see like an age like, okay, like in 5 years I'm gonna stop DJing. So as long as I'm still loving what I do, and as long as I can do it on this kind of level, I'm gonna keep on going, because like I said, this is like my passion. This is it doesn't feel like work. It's what I love to do. So the only thing is, like, I have kids now as well, so you need to find the balance between like touring and being at home as well. So of course I will not do like maybe that many shows than I did like a few years ago, but like totally quitting, that's I don't know, it's gonna be hard.
And you mentioned you have kids. I saw a little bit that you were on vacation with them, I believe, or at the beach or at the ocean. Are your kids allowed to come in the studio and play with your gear, or is that a no kid zone?
I would say no kid zone, but to be honest, now because we're rebuilding and this is like in my attic, he's always playing here. So for the moment, I think I still have to I don't know, make something that he can't enter anymore. But for now, it's no problem.
If you could look at the sound of electronic music and how it's changed over the years, is there one sound or one type of genre that you're really excited about, that you'd say, I'm looking forward to this making a rebirth, or I'm really passionate or into this sound right now, that you can say, what genre or what sound would that be?
That's a really difficult question, to be honest. Like, for example, when I started, like, trance music was big, techno was big, and then I had the period that I was playing in like small dance clubs where I had to play everything from hip hop, R&B, pop music to house music. Then I started playing like what they call EDM. But after so many years now, techno is back. It's not that it's been away, but I mean, it's like going mainstream now. Like the tech house is back. So it's very difficult. Like, the thing is, I was never like sticking to one genre. I'm very open-minded what music is about. Like, also in my set, I can go from a tech house track to a more EDM track to deep house track. It can be anything, even maybe a hardstyle track. So I was always open-minded, and it's not that I stick to one genre particularly. So at the end of the day, my love is electronic dance music, and it's it's a big how can I say, a big group of subgenres, but and I think also everything comes back. Like, I'm sure there, like, in a few years we have a new name of a new genre, but probably with a lot of influences from something like from 5, 10, 15 years ago. So it's a cycle.
Yeah, definitely. When I was looking at a report recently from 1001 track lists, and they were kind of like gauging what's hot right now, and it looks like tech house is kind of that hot genre. House was coming right behind it, but techno was. I'm hearing that techno is kind of making its way up. That we're going to start seeing it become a little bit more mainstream. It's interesting to watch that dial kind of maneuver over the years. If somebody could put it in like into an animated waveform of like maybe some algorithm says, okay, we know in 5 years from now this is probably going to bubble back up and this is going to go out again. And you know, because electronic music to me when I was a kid growing up, it was an underground thing. It was 30 years ago. You know, it was not mainstream. You know, you had pop, you had hip hop, you had rock music. Where I'm in the States, we had, you know, alternative music was big on the scene here, especially in Seattle, where Nirvana and Soundgarden and all these bands are coming from. You know, the grunge scene we're the epicenter of it. And here I am going out to these dance clubs, you know, listening to the dance music and seeing that shift from like 92 to then 97. It became mainstream in the clubs, you know, and while we were a band town, a lot of the clubs kind of shifted over to the DJ format and had DJs playing in them. It was just interesting to see. And I'd say around 2005-ish, that kind of bubble kind of, you know, bro, and it was like electronic music's everywhere, EDM's everywhere. You know, and it was just going places. So it's been interesting to see. And now it's so mainstream. It's in every part of every culture. I mean, you can't, electronic music's just there.
100%. If you see like the new song of Beyonce, or it's all like electronic music is in there.
Absolutely. And what do you prefer to do when you take a break from all this music biz? What hobbies or things do you enjoy doing outside of the music industry?
I actually love to just spend time with my family or friends, go out for a nice dinner, have a drink, or I think most or like being at home and cook something, those kinds of things. Go to the gym a bit more often. But besides that, even if I take a break, I think music is still there. Like even if I deny it, it is there. I'm probably listening to it or doing some mails or so. It's part of my life, I guess, even during the breaks.
And speaking of listening to music, you do your series called V Sessions Radio.
Yeah.
Are there any other live streams or podcasts that you frequently listen to?
But that's mostly like, for example, Joe Rogan or things like that, but not like music related. So no. Besides that, I like. No podcast or anything like from music wise. No.
And going to like a tech side of things, technology side of things, have you done anything or are you looking to do anything in or with virtual reality?
For the moment, I'm working with guys, for example, like in the crypto world, like the metaverse. So and they are like preparing like a festival in the meta world where DJs can do their own shows and like do their sets like in an NFT kind of way. But for the moment they're still like producing it. So but we're definitely looking at those kinds of things. I think you have to probably. It's probably the future, but so I think I think next year I'll do my first show in the metaverse. So but let's see, it's still under construction.
Well, we just launched 2 virtual nightclubs in alt space, and you'd be welcome to come by and play anytime you want. I'd love to give you a tour sometime, and we're super excited for that. And I just met with somebody over the weekend that approached us and wants to take our nightclubs and put them into the NFT crypto bigger environment worlds. We're super excited to start those conversations. We do see VR and AR, for that matter, becoming huge in the music world. Nothing will replace. We do silent concerts or silent disco events. Do you know what those are?
Yeah.
So when people try to say, well, I like to feel the music, I don't like to hear it through headsets. And we go, well, you're comparing 2 different experiences. And while we don't think virtual reality is not going to replace the nightclub or the in-person festival experience, it's just another way to consume or have that experience for people that, hey, maybe I can't fly to Tomorrowland and be in Belgium with you, but I might be able to put on this headset. I might be able to be in my living room, and through 3D cameras, I could choose which 3D camera location I want to be at. I could be up on stage with you in the DJ booth. I could be down in the front row. I could be back, and I could be in a room with other people that are also watching from that standpoint, from that viewpoint as well. And once it gets dialed in, it's there. The pieces are there. It's just wondering who's going to take it mainstream and make it big. And I think there's a lot of people out there seeing this as the next frontier, just like what websites were in 1995. Businesses would say, I don't need a website, or let's go forward to social media, and people would say, I don't need a website. I have a MySpace page.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I don't need that. I have a Facebook page. And we all saw what Facebook ended up doing, or now Meta. You build hundreds of thousands of followers on a Facebook page, and then they'd make you pay to reach them.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second here. And they wouldn't create their own brand. And now you have Instagram, you have TikTok, and those social media platforms. But, I see VR as another branding opportunity that you're going to add. You're going to go to the website, just like our website, the DJsessions.com. You have that VR link. You click on it. You're going to get a preview of what our clubs look like, but you can go into our clubs and go check it out.
No, 100%. I also believe that's the future. So, let's see how fast it will be there.
And then, with AR technology, where we're going to be able to put on the glasses, Apple's already announced they have something coming out. Facebook is working on, Meta's working on something. Yeah. We know Google's going to come back out with something because they tried it with their first one and it didn't work out too well. Yeah. But, Sony, Microsoft, the companies are all going to come out with these glasses. And then you have independent manufacturers that are going to come out with them as well. So we could go and see your show at Tomorrowland, put on glasses in the audience, and have a completely different visual experience. Yeah. Above that, where it's going to be amazing to see what's going to happen in that world. And I know you did some live streaming last year with, was it ADE? And I just saw something that was really interesting. It was like a behind the scenes look of you doing a live stream at the ADE studios. Is that correct?
Not at ADE. The thing is, I did so many live streams, but the one, you mean like a one that you can follow me backstage, or?
Yeah, I think the ones you could follow you backstage.
I don't. To be honest, I don't remember that one. But it wasn't at ADE. That sure.
No, it wasn't at ADE. It was like for Panasonic. They were demoing some new gear.
Okay. That's true.
Something like that. I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah.
It just looked like an amazing setup. I'm sorry, AED studio, not AED.
Yeah.
That's why.
That was actually where like they promoted all their stuff. So like all the LED, what was really amazing. Amazing production what they did over there.
I mean, that is just wow. I'm watching the video on that right now, and it is awesome. Is your standard setup a three CDJ setup?
Yeah, 3 or 4. But like 3 actually is all good.
Awesome. And you did mention just a little bit ago about NFTs. What are your thoughts on NFTs and what they're going to do for the music marketplace, for musicians and artists?
To be honest, like crypto NFT, it's a subject where I'm really interested in it, but I don't know how the future will look like. But probably, the nice thing what I like is like when you own something, you are a unique owner on the blockchain. So for sure, it will have like a lot of use cases, but I don't see it like. I'm still really curious to see how it will evolve in the music industry. I'm sure there are many ways and many possibilities, but I'm mostly like curious and standing on the sideline and to see what will happen and what would be really like a use case and what not. I think it's still very young. We're still there in the beginning, and yeah, it's not that I already have like a clear image of okay, this is it, or this is
I don't think anyone does.
no. So it's very interesting, but it's still like I don't know, a mystery a bit for me.
Well, I'm supposed to be having a talk here. A good friend of both of ours, Luke, with the Futuristic Polar Bears.
Yeah.
We've been talking, and I work closely with him, and he has got me in touch with the first ever NFT record label that's coming out, which is interesting to see. I mean, I saw NFTs when they first came out that people were making artwork, NFT, and selling it. And I look at that as like you're buying a bumper sticker or a sticker that you own the rights to, and that's really awesome. But from a music perspective, I thought it was just interesting if somebody released an NFT track and somebody owns that, and then it passes around. And if it does pass around as a collectible item, that's the person keeps getting a percentage off of each transaction that goes through it. And here over the DJ sessions, we're trying to figure out how we NFT all of our past episodes, and then we can, put those up as collectible items. But one of the most unique uses that I saw that I thought was really awesome was there was a group, and they had tickets for their events, and their ticket for the event was an NFT. And that ticket, if you held on to that NFT, you could always go into their events, but you could obviously transfer that ticket. And I think they started selling them for they got up to like $10,000 a ticket or something like that. It was like, it started at like $100 or $1,000, and it just went up. And these tickets have now become collector's items for people to be able to go to these events. And I think that's just going to be a huge, huge thing. But blockchain, I'm still new to it. I'm still trying to figure out. I got a guy here in Seattle I work closely with that follows the whole crypto market, and obviously the whole crypto market just dipped really bad. So he's like, maybe we should hold off a little bit more till our ETH is I think it's Ethereum they usually build on. There's so many different types out there, but we're slowly looking at it as well. But we want to do something special for our fans and our members and say, hey, like here's a collectible item that you get as an NFT for being a member, as being part of us. So like, you have merch on your website, you sell t-shirts on your website. The question is will you be offering NFTs as well?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So there are many possibilities in the future, 100%. So I'm definitely looking into it. But I'm still, I don't know, watching from the sideline, and we'll see what happens in the future.
And when it comes to promoting yourself and doing PR and social media, how important has that been to your career to have a solid PR team like Urban Rebel on your side?
Yeah, well, it's definitely really important. I think social media nowadays you can be without it. So if you want to promote yourself nowadays, it's the thing is it's easy now. You can put something online and the whole world watch it. But at the end of the day, there's so many things there. There's so many things on the web. So to out, it's really nice to have for example, an agency like Urban Rebel PR. You have to find ways to stand out of it. It's in music like that, but it's in social media like that. So you definitely need to think about it every day. And also like with every release, think about some more ways to get out the pack.
Well, one of the things I think I liked what you said is, working with a team and working with PR. It wasn't until I started putting a team together to handle multiple aspects of PR for me. I mean, I started with somebody in 2020 when everyone jumped online. We were doing a DJ live streaming show for 10 years. And what we were doing online is going on different locations. We had our mobile studio. We were doing the different stuff rather than just the bedroom DJ show. And I have nothing against people that do a live streaming show from their bedroom or their living room. That's how we started.
Yeah.
I mean, for years I was doing it from my house or from studio locations. But when I saw everyone, like you said, jump online, and there was just so much noise of everyone saying, look at me, look at me. I mean, you were online, David Guetta's online. Yeah, everyone's going online. I'm like, how am I even going to compare against those big names being a little guy? Again, with all the smaller unknown DJs or mid-level DJs, they're all going online at the same time. You can only watch one live stream at one time, or listen to one podcast at one time. So we took kind of a seat back and let everyone kind of just push through that wave. And later that year, we decided to say, okay, it's time for us to jump on board now. Let's start doing some stuff. And coming into 2021 was interesting, but really coming forth to 2022 and seeing, the people that were doing stuff online, they're not doing so much more. They're not doing so much online anymore because they're back to live event production. But one of the greatest things I saw was that 2.5 years ago, when I would walk up to somebody and say, we are a live streaming DJ show and a Twitch featured partner. They first say, why would I want to watch a DJ show online? And I go, well, have you ever listened to the radio?
Yeah.
That's the same thing we're doing here. And number two, they'd say, what's Twitch? And I go, okay, well, Google's, YouTube is owned by Google and Amazon pretty much runs Twitch. And they go, oh, now everyone knows Twitch. Everyone watches DJ shows online, and everyone knows what a QR code is. People thought I was crazy 12 years ago for saying, check out this QR code. It's going to be the future. It's going to be the new thing. And that was one of the greatest things I think that came out of, musically, is that people start looking at different distribution mediums. And now what we were just talking about, looking at NFTs and where that may go, or even virtual reality and where they may go, to capture new audiences and meet new fans and make new friends. It's just going to be really awesome. And PR coming into all of that to wrap it in. Do you handle your own social media, or do you have a team that you work with on that?
I have a team, but I actually handle it all myself. So it's only when I'm sick or like the traveling part is too hard or I have a long flight that someone does it for me. But 99% of the time it's me, because I really I love to interact with my fans as well, see what they like, what they don't like. Maybe I'm old school in it, but I really love to handle it myself.
Yeah. it can definitely
personal.
Go ahead.
No, it makes it a bit more personal as well, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely have a team. Like I said, I work with Luke out of the UK. I work with another gentleman out of New York. I work with another gentleman out of Thailand. I but an intern that I'm bringing on board. Just having a team together, it definitely can make your brand grow and go further. But I've been working with Vass. I've been talking with him for years, ever since we've started the show, and it's always been awesome working with the Urban Rebel team. So really great people out there. Let's see. I'm running out of questions here for you. I mean, is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about before we let you get going? Actually, you know what? I do have a question for you. Have a question for you. Is there something you'd like to say to new and up and coming producers to watch out for when it comes to making their career successful?
I think one of the most important things that you just have to believe in yourself, find your own way, keep on going, never give up. Mostly like nowadays, when I meet like young DJs, or they don't have patience. They want to be on the main stage of Tomorrowland today, and if not, even yesterday. But like, if I see to myself, for me, it was a long journey. It took like many years. I went from small parties, organizing my own parties, DJ contests, small bars, small clubs, small festivals. So I did like a whole journey. So I think it's very important to just believe in yourself, keep on going, and be patient. If it doesn't work now, no worries. It will work. If you really believe in yourself and you don't give up, you will be there. Maybe in a year, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years. But just keep on going. And I think that's the most important thing. I see a lot of people they want to have it now. And if it doesn't work now, they're already like, oh, I'm never going to make it. So be patient, enjoy what you're doing. Even if you're playing in a small club, just enjoy it, do it with passion. And if you have passion, I'm sure it will help you to get somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of I remember the first question I asked. It was a promoter that had brought Paul Oakenfold to town when I first got, so years and years ago. And I asked him, I said, is there a such thing as an overnight success in the electronic music business? He says, Darren, and it's funny, his name was Darren. I'll give a shout out to Darren Chilson. And he looks at me and he goes, no, there are no overnight successes. When you see somebody that's succeeded in this, it is generally because they've spent years and years and years playing this small club, playing this nightclub, playing this festival, networking, meeting other people, and really on the grind of making this happen. And I also want to give another second shout out to a friend of mine, Carl Kamikahi, who told me once when we first got kind of a gig at this, it was a pho restaurant. It was a restaurant that they had this back room and we were doing our live streams out of it. And he goes, Darren, this room may hold 25 people, but you know what? You work this room for 25 people. And then next you look for a room that holds 50 people. And then you look for a room that holds 100 people. And this is a starting point and you're right there and you're doing it. Just don't stop and make it happen. I think that's echoes with what you were saying there.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's very important. And I'm not saying that it can't happen. Maybe tomorrow you have a hit and the day after you'll be on the main stage everywhere. It can happen. But I think, unfortunately, it's not for everyone. And but at the end of the day, like you said, keep on going and it will happen. I really believe it.
If there was, if there was one producer that you could take and put into the spotlight, who would that be?
Yeah, put him in the spotlight. There are so many amazing producers out there. You mean like an up and coming talent?
Up and coming producer, yeah, up and coming, not established, just up and coming.
Yeah, I did a few tracks with Skytech. He's a Polish producer, which I still think is one of the most talented guys out there. What he made was like unbelievable. So many good producers out there. It's also like it's the same as who's one of the best DJs. Too many DJs, too many producers, too many good DJs, and too many amazing producers out there. So, but let's say Skytech. I worked with him a few times, and he's really, really talented.
Awesome. Well, and I hope I get this right. It's Yves V?
Perfect.
Awesome. Yves V, is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about before we let you get going?
No, I can only say that I was really happy to be here, and I have a lot of new music coming up. I think almost every month I have a new release coming up, so I hope you guys like it, and
Awesome. Well,
here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll be listening to She's Moving for a while until that new track comes out. Where can people find out more information about you?
Yeah, I think best is on my socials, Yves V, and for sure you will find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are.
And we got that website coming in right now as well.
Yes. Perfect.
Hey, technology, it worked. Check out the website. All right. Yves V, thank you so much for coming on the DJ Sessions. It was a pleasure having you on the show. We'll follow up with you here in the next 6 months, probably right around where that ADE is going to be happening, and catch up with you and see how things are going.
100%. Let's meet over there if I'm there.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And on that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us on Twitter, find us on TikTok, find us on Instagram, Meta, wherever, but really just go to thedjsessions.com. You're going to find out all our socials, news stories, VR nightclubs. Oh, we're launching a new section there that I'd like to announce today, our live interview calendar. This is where you can actually find out who's coming up next on the show, on the series, and actually jump in and be part of the show, jump in, be a part of the chat room, and actually talk with us live right in the show and ask people like Evie tons of questions. You know, that's what we're going to be doing here coming up. And there was a small glitch there. Is that glitch on you too?
Yeah, but you're back. But
I'm back now. It was right in my outro. It's all good. Oh, and we'd like to announce today also you're going to be able to find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Google Play, and Apple TV coming up shortly, streaming live on all those platforms. Again, that's Yves V. I'm Darren, coming to you live for the virtual sessions. You know what happens on the DJ sessions? The music never stops.